give you a little bit of a challenge to work on one of Taika's pet peeves and something that I think is really important. And that's what he would call dead hand. So frequently in kata, whether weapons kata or open hand kata or even exercises, Taika would see stuff like exercise 1, one hand moves. Exercise 1 just continually does blocks like that, but hands will be tethered. He wanted both hands moving, both hands moving. And in kata we see the same thing. You'll see motions, for instance, kusanku, people come up and they glue that elbow to their ribs and go out, glue the elbow to the ribs, go out, both hands come back, bottom hand is glued to the ribs, you come out. Weapons example, I just grabbed a pair of manji sai. You see people glue the manji to their side and do their motions. Glue this manji to the side and do motions, right? So Taika didn't want that. He wanted, when you came out and did motions, see that hand that's glued to the side frequently on people should not be glued to the side. It should be doing incidental little covers, right? So just for example, that manji motion, if this hand is glued to the ribs and I go down, across, and out, there's really not much going on between my knees and my belt line as far as covers are concerned. But if I come here, as that drops, this drops, and then it covers, and then the second one, the long end is out, so I'm able to cover more and do much more. Plus the body will feel more in balance. So the drill that I'm going to tell you to do can be done with open hands, it can be done with weapons, you can do it with kata, you can do it with exercises, it really doesn't matter. But all you have to do is find a mirror and stay acclimated with your chest to that mirror so you can really look at your hands. I prefer to kind of do it in a chair or a stool. Stool lets your body rock a little bit, but I really don't want full like 45-degree angles, but a little bit is okay. If you sit in a chair, sit right on the edge of the chair. So as an example, I'll go through part of kusanku. So as I come up and trace my silhouette and lift, I'm in this position. A lot of people will tether that elbow and go out, elbow and go out. What Taika would say is both hands should be moving the same direction and then that right comes back. Both hands are moving to my right, now that left comes back. Both hands are moving as I come into that tuck position. Now this next one's where most people will tether that bottom hand to the rib cage and they'll just fling that right or left hand out. In order for the next punch to come out, if you are doing the Oyata punch, this hand needs to come under the elbow and then we cover, close, and go out. Well, if I chase, Taika would call this chasing. If I let this bottom hand chase the front hand, so it's moving a little bit slower, but it arrives at the point this hand arrives at its furthest out point, this hand has arrived at the elbow. So I'm already ready to immediately come across, close, and go out into my Oyata punch, and then I cycle through that kake hidden motion, so there's no dead space there at all. And then I'm going back out, making circular motions. I'm not tethered and doing a wrap. I'm maybe, if you're going for actual technique, there's several different things you can be doing there, but I wouldn't be dead-handed if I was in that. So again, I'm here, don't stay tethered, chase, they both arrive at their destinations at the same time, immediately cover, punch, and immediately roll out and wrap, and look right there, punch, wrap, both hands are moving. This one doesn't just stay here and that come on top. My right hand's moving down and into that position. Also, as very foundational, people will come out for the kick. Now normally my body would be turning and stuff as I do things. So if I'm in that tuck position and I go to kick and I just throw that hand, or for those that still kick high, I'm throwing that hand out. Well, what Taika would say is chase, and it's a two-part chase. So this hand is rolling off the top and the bottom hand's rolling or sliding forward. Okay, that's the first part of the chase. So this is now in line with the angle that I'm going to flip. So I'm coming out here, this is in that angle, and as this goes out, this goes across. Kind of like you're throwing some dice on the table, right? So I'm not glued, I'm not doing this version or just this version. Both hands are moving, both hands are moving. All right? And then we tuck and we do it the opposite direction in the kata, right? And then we land here. So don't make a platform, super glue it to your ribs and fling the hand forward, right? We go forward and back with that bottom hand, because we're actually, typically the bunkai that I think of is the capture of the hand. So I'm going here and I'm doing primary reversal, if not bidirectional attack. Tuite attack is what I'm visualizing usually. Can be other things. Same here. So I don't just come here and then sweep off. I come here and come across, come here and come across, drop down as I'm coming over. I don't just go 1, 2. I do 2, 2 motions. 2 hands move, 2 hands move, 2 hands move. Every time I'm doing something, both hands are moving. They don't move the same amount. It's pretty obvious. This one has a farther distance to go, so you have to learn timing. That also helps you learn timing of things. Your body is moving with itself, but adjusting the timing so that this arrives at the same time this arrives, and this is obviously closer to where I started. So again here, right hand is closer to where I started, but it should pop the same time that pops. And that helps you get a really crisp arm bar, a really painful, debilitating arm bar, both the high one and the low one, if this and this match arrive at the same time. Again, these motions are all going 2 hands at once. So again, that's not all of Kusanku, and I talked through quite a bit of it, but you can do this with every kata, open, closed, hands, exercises, renshu, weapons kata, anything you want to do that's martial related, you can sit here and throw it into this chair and mirror kind of situation. Once you get that done and you get used to, and you've gone throughout all of your kata and you've made them fairly fluid, then it's a great thing to sit and do when you're watching TV and a commercial comes on, right? Whoever's sitting at the couch next to you probably thinks you're crazy, but you can take 3 minutes of commercial time and turn it into exercise without even standing up. Have fun.